Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokemon Reborn. So last part we dealt with the water treatment center, we cleaned it up, we gave the people of Reborn City clean water again. And for this part we're going to be going back up to the Fiore mansion. We will encounter Julia and Florina. And they'll give us Fly. And then we'll find out that Team Meteor is actually heading for the mansion themselves, and we're gonna have to go back up there and back everybody up. So before you enter this door, this is literally your last chance to save before you enter this door and enter a small gauntlet of double battles. And I recommend that you actually just go straight back to the circus, access the PC there, heal up there. Especially if you took a break during the water treatment center and you came back to the Fiore mansion to heal up, I would recommend you go back to the circus and heal up there just in case. The reason is if you enter the gauntlet and you lose and you're not save scumming, you'll basically be sent straight into the healing portion of the Fiore mansion, which is kind of a part of the gauntlet. So you won't have any moment to, you won't have a chance to actually train up your Pokemon or anything like that. Because as soon as you leave the little room with the healing machine and the PC, you'll just be thrown right back into the gauntlet. I also recommend you go back to the circus and just buy a ton of cotton candy. I know it's expensive at 5,000 Pokédollars each, but this is the hardest this is probably the hardest and most challenging set of battles that you will ever have. I really mean that. There's a lot of reasons for why it is, but for the most part, there is no set strategy that can really make these battles that are coming up any easier. And besides that, you're also forcefully partnered up with an NPC, which can sometimes help you out a lot more. But, you know, if you were on your own and able to send out 2 of your Pokemon, you could actually come up with some sort of double strategy. So, being partnered up with someone is kind of a handicap here. I'm gonna go over my team really quickly. I have the Hawlucha right here. I actually gave it the white lens. There is no field in the Fiore mansion for us to actually trigger any synthetic seeds. Any seeds at all, actually. And I also changed my Infernape up a little bit. I used to have Acrobatics in the 4th slot, and now I have Thunder Punch, which is going to come in handy. I also gave it the Life Orb because I'm not going to... None of my Pokemon are going to last that long in battle. They're not going to last long enough for me to really get the metronome going. So I just need raw power here, and that's why I gave it the Life Orb. I also have Gigalith over here. White Guard does come in handy sometimes. Not a lot of times, but there is one instance where I really like to use it. So anyways, I would recommend you save right here, order your party however you would want, and head in. Oh yeah, and we have this cutscene to deal with first. We pretty much have the 2 most unlikable people in this whole entire game, side by side right now. So anyways, for the first battle, it is just a couple of Meteor Grunts, and I'm not going to be showing this off because this battle doesn't really matter. In between each battle, your Pokemon will be healed up, so that's not a problem. You really shouldn't order your Pokemon for it. Order your Pokemon for the battles that are to come afterwards. Alright, so that is the Meteor Grunts taken care of right there. And we'll have another cutscene right here. And again, we will end up with a tag battle against the 2 most unlikable people in this whole entire game. And here is where the fun starts. Or rather, for me, it's basically where the revive spamming starts. So starting off, we have Blake's Walrein, Ice Body, Leftovers, Protect, Blizzard, Surf, Stockpile, and for Fern's Haxorus, we have Mold Breaker, a Dragon Scale for a held item, Superpower, Outrage, Dragon Dance, and Poison Jab. So I'm going to start off by trying to eliminate the Walrein. And I know this isn't going to knock it out, but it should do a lot of damage to it. The good news about the Haxorus is it uses Outrage, and Outrage could target... He can't select who to target with Outrage. So he could hit my Hawlucha and knock it out, or he could hit the Hippowdon, and Hippowdon is actually pretty tanky. So I'm going to do a good chunk of damage to Evalrin. And that actually missed me, that's pretty good. Just a little bit of luck right there. Although obviously not for Florina. But anyways, I'm going to knock out the Walrein right here. And gain a level. And I'm going to lose my Hawlucha right there. Which is perfectly fine with me. So next up, I'll send out my Lolatails right here. Blake is going to send out his Weavile. It has Pickpocket, No Held Item, Icicle Crash, Poison Jab, Ice Shard, and Knockoff. And I could hit them with the Dazzling Gleam, which would be the better thing to do, or I could try to set up Aurora Veil. They do have ways to break the screens later on, so I'm going to go ahead and just attack. And also I know they're going to go straight for the Torterra right there. So anyways, this is probably where I should set up the Aurora Veil because Krookodile is out, and I'll probably get knocked out literally right after this. So friends, Krookodile has Moxie, it has No Held Item, Earthquake, Brick Break, Crunch, and Rock Slide. Something you'll notice is that aside from their first Pokemon, none of their other Pokemon actually hold items, which I assume is supposed to be a way that they handicap this battle so it's more manageable. But in reality, I don't think it really does that well. I could also just hit them with the Dazzling Gleam. I know I'm faster. Well, not faster than the Weavile, but I don't really have to worry about the Weavile targeting me. Alright, so far so good. So next up is Blake's Mamoswine. It has Thick Fat, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, and for the most part, you can kind of see right here that Blake is more of the weak point. So I'm just going to use another Dazzling Gleam right here, do a little bit to the Mamoswine, and get rid of that Krookodile right there. And I actually lived right there. I'm pretty surprised. But there's no way that I'm going to live this. So this is for Scissor. It has Technician, Bullet Punch, Bug Bite, Sword Stance, and Superpower. I don't really need to mention that it has no held item. I've pretty much mentioned that no Pokemon at this point will have an item. So this is the part where I'm just going to revive my Hawlucha because I know my Lolatails is gone. And Florina is actually going to take care of the Mamoswine for me. So I'm going to go ahead and send out my Infernape right here. Blake is going to send out his Starmie. Oh, his Starmie does have an item. It actually has an Icy Rock. I forgot about that. So his Starmie has Natural Cure, it has an Icy Rock, it has Blizzard, Hail, Thunder, and Light Screen. I'm not really afraid of this Starmie because it has no Water Stab. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock out the Scizor. Or actually, I could go ahead and hit the Starmie. Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and knock out the Scizor. I assume that if I knock out the Scizor right here, and that freeze doesn't matter because I'm using Flare Blitz, but I assume because I'm going to knock out the Scizor there that her Ferrothorn should Power Whip the Starmie. And from here, Fern sends out his Roserade, Poison Point, No Item, Sleep Powder, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power, Fire. And I think I should try to knock it out first, actually. And that was really lucky for me, I think. Alright, so far so good. So next up is the Gyarados from Blake and the Rhyperior for Fern. The Rhyperior has Solid Rock, it has Earthquake, Rock Slide, Fire Punch, and Mega Horn. Solid Rock basically means that super effective damage doesn't actually deal 2 times damage, which is kind of annoying. It basically means super effective damage deals like regular damage instead. And for the Gyarados, it has Intimidate, Stone Edge, Dragon Dance, Waterfall, and Crunch. I should be able to hit Gyarados first before I get taken out. So I'm going to get a Thunder Punch in, which is the main reason I have this. Oh, that was so close. That's good enough for me. And I'm going to go ahead and send in my Hawlucha again, because I know that the Lowland Sandslash is Blake's last Pokemon. It has Slush Rush, Earthquake, Swords Dance, Rock Slide, and Iron Head. So basically, if I can knock out this Sandslash right here, then it will be 2-on-1. And it doesn't really matter that much because Fern only has 2 Pokemon left as well, so this is as good as one. I'm gonna knock out the Rhyperior right there. And now we're going to finally see Fern's Decidueye. Long Reach for an ability, Spirit Shackle, Shadow Sneak, Brave Bird, and Leaf Blade. I think he's gonna go for Loom actually. But that doesn't matter because I can't hit him. I'll swap out to my Gigolith. Oh, he actually hit me instead. Alright, that's completely fine. I'm gonna go ahead and try to hit him with a Stone Edge. I could just revive my Infernape and make this a little bit faster. Because I definitely have enough revives for my next battle, so I'm not really too worried about that. I could have also used my Alolan Ninetales, but I don't want it to get too much experience because if it levels up in between battles, I won't be able to use it for the next battle. I think I've discussed the level cap before, but basically, if you level up past the level cap during a battle, you're fine. But if you level up past the level cap and you're in some sort of gauntlet of battles, then your Pokemon will disobey you in the next battle. Alrighty, so we're 2 battles in, and next should be another portion of the cutscene. And this time we will be battling against Solaris, and I believe his name is New World Orderly John. It's kind of weird. You know, normally these grunts, their names never have any significance, but because he's battling with Solaris, and I'm looking at his team right here, he does have some significance. Anyways, you may want to focus on New World Orderly John if you can, because he only has 5 Pokemon, while Solaris has a full team of 6. So Solaris starts off with his Scissor. It has Technician, No Item, Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Roost, and Superpower. It kind of feels like a copy and paste from Fern's team, honestly. New World Orderly John has an Oblivious Wishcash. I don't think I said that right. Has Dragon Dance, Rock Slide, Waterfall, and Zen Headbutt. It's pretty scary, honestly. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to hit that Wishcash. Mainly because if I can knock out all of New World Orderly John's Pokemon, then I can have like a 2-on-1 battle here. So Solaris is going to U-turn his Scizor out of there, and next up is his Tyranitar. A Sandstream, a Smooth Rock, Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Superpower, Rock Slide. This is good because I can just high jump kick this Tyranitar and I might be able to knock it out. I might. I'm not too sure about that. Okay, we did. That's good. And I should lose my Hawlucha here, which is actually kind of good for us. I want to send in my Roserade right here so I can finally knock out this Whiscash. Solaris is going to send in his Scizor right back in, which is completely fine with me. And Julie is actually going to do some pretty good damage to it. But now he is going to U-turn out onto his Excadrill. And this is probably the biggest problem Pokemon on his team, in my opinion. So it has the ability Sand Rush. Because there is a Sandstorm going on right now, an 8-turn Sandstorm thanks to the Tyranitar Smooth Rock, this Excadrill has double speed. It's holding a Life Orb and it has Earthquake, Rock Slide, Swords Dance, and X-Scissor. So it's very problematic. There's also this Magnezone which came out, and it's got Analytic, it's holding an Air Balloon, has Discharge, Thunder Wave, Flash Cannon, and Hidden Power Fire. So if I can... I don't think I'll be able to do anything, so I'm going to go ahead and revive somebody. Or Hawlucha, actually. Just to be safe. Because there's no way I'm going to outspeed that Excadrill, so I might as well revive somebody. I'm going to send out my Gigalith right here. Thankfully, my Gigalith does have Sandstream, but because the Sandstorm is already up, it's not going to activate or extend it. So mainly what I want to do here with my Gigalith is I want to use Wide Guard, because that Excadrill is going to focus on using Earthquake and Rock Slide. So I should be able to just block that Earthquake right there. And I'll just barely live. And Julia's Magnezone will actually pop the other Magnezone's Air Balloon. So now when I use Wide Guard, her Solaris, I don't know why I said her. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's just going to take me out. And the Sandstorm is still going, so I need to stall out a little bit more here. That's unfortunate. I've had other playthroughs where the Excadrill will still go for Earthquake or Rock Slide, and it'll actually start knocking out Orderly John's Pokemon, which is really, really nice. But right here, I'm just going to go for a Detect and try to stall this out a little bit more. The main issue here is that Excadrill is insanely fast because it Sand Rushes up, and I just need to waste some turns until he Sand Rushes down so I can knock it out. Anyways, next up is going to be Orderly John's Electros. It has the ability Levitate, so it has no weaknesses. It's holding an Assault Vest. It has Thunderbolt, Giga Drain, Flamethrower, and Acid Spray. So I might try and go for a double Detect right here, just to stall out one more turn of sand. Oh, I actually got it. Okay, that's good. So the sand is down, and I should be able to high jump kick this Excadrill right now. Should be able to. And the minutes is finally gone. I'm gonna lose my Hawlucha right here, but that's perfectly fine with me. So next, I should probably send out my Infernape right here. And, oh, I forgot he still has his Scizor. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and don't want to close combat the Electros. I'm not going to knock it out. But at the same time, I really need my Infernape right here. I guess I'll go ahead and knock out the Scissor right here. Alright, the Electros isn't even going to go for me. That's fine. So here is Solaris' Gyarados. It has Intimidate, it has Leftovers, it has Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Waterfall, and Outrage. So, let's see, I might send out my Meowstic right here. Just to sort of take a hit. Because I know without the Intimidate, I should be able to actually knock out the Gyarados with my Infernape. Although that's not really a big deal because we also have Julia on our side and, well, most of her Pokemon have electric attacks, so she should be able to knock out the Gyarados as well. So I'll take a chance. I'm gonna fake out the Electros and see if she'll knock out the Gyarados for us. Oh, that was so close. It's really unfortunate. But that's fine. I can send in my Infernape right here, and I can Thunder Punch the Gyarados right there and knock it out. This is the main reason that I actually have Thunder Punch on my Infernape. So after that, Solaris is going to send out his Mandibuzz. It has Overcoat, Leftovers, Boost, Snarl, Toxic, and Foul Play. Mandibuzz is usually pretty tanky, so I'm not sure how much this is actually going to do. I might be better off reviving something, if we're completely honest here. So let's see, who would be really useful right now? Actually, Gigalith would be. So I'm just going to accept my Infernape as gone. And that's a nice touch as well. So I'm going to see if I can spam Rock Slide right here and do a bit of damage. I know the Electros has Giga Drain, but I should be able to live that. They're not even going to focus on me anyways. So I guess I'll try and see if I can hit them with another Rock Slide right here. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Next up is going to be New Orderly John's Cannon, and it has Skill Link, it has the Muscle Band, it has Beak Blast, Rock Blast, Roost, and Brick Break. Might want to revive somebody at this point. So I'll go ahead and revive my Infernape. I still have my Alola Tails in the back, and I want to keep it in the back because it's going to be really useful later. And I'm not going to outspeed that Toucannon, so I'm going to go ahead and revive probably my Hawlucha again. This is a really rough battle, and this is a Gauntlet, right? And it takes a lot of time to actually get through this, so I recommend you don't take chances with this battle. You know, it's not as simple as a save and restart. You know, even if your save's coming, it's not that simple. So anyways, right here, I'm going to go ahead and Thunder Punch that Toucannon. And just knock it right out of here. I should lose my Infernape again, or maybe not. Okay, that's fine with me. And finally, the last Pokemon on New World Orderly John's side is a Slowbro. Has own tempo, leftovers, Icy Wind, Light Screen, Flamethrower, and Scald. And it is very, very tanky. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the Mandibuzz with a Thunder Punch and just knock it out right here. I might regret that later. Maybe not. Okay, it flinched. That's actually pretty good. And the final Pokemon on Solaris' side is his Garchomp. Rough Skin, Dragon Rush, Earthquake, Fire Fang, and Stone Edge. It's only one level higher than when you saw it last, which was on Pyrus Mountain. And I don't know if I can actually outspeed it. I'm assuming it's going to outspeed me here. So I'm going to go ahead and revive somebody else just to make sure that everything goes well. Probably my Roserade right here. The Golem should live. Or maybe not. I guess it doesn't have Sturdy. The good news here is that he might actually knock out New World Orderly John's Slowbro for us, which would be really, really helpful. So, I'll just go ahead and send out my Alola Tails right here. And I should be able to just Blizzard this Garchomp away. And now all that is left is New World Orderly John Slowbro, and Julia is going to take care of that for us. So I played things a bit too safe right there, but it doesn't really matter. We are through these battles. We'll have one last cutscene. And everything should be done here. Again, I think this is honestly the toughest gauntlet in this whole entire game. You're not prepared for it. There is no way to actually prepare for it. And after that, I believe we have to go find Titania. And she should be literally right out here. So if we come out here and talk to her, she will run off on her own. And we should go back inside here and talk to Julia. And she will tell you to go back to the circus and defeat Ciel, which is what we're going to do. Alright, so back at the circus, nothing has really changed. But we want to make our way back to the private room over here and talk to Samson. And we'll have a bit of a cutscene right here. And we'll be all set up to battle Ciel. So right here, I would recommend changing your team up a little bit just for this battle. I guess we'll do a small reminder of what the effects of the big top arena field that we're going to be fighting in are. So for the most part, all sound-based moves are going to gain a power increase, as well as Power Whip, Vine Whip, Fiery Dance, Metal Dance, Fly, Acrobatics, Revelation Dance, Fire Lash, First Impression. Those are some very notable changes right there. Fly, Acrobatics, and Revelation Dance are moves you're going to see, as well as plenty of sound-based moves. And you're also going to see amplified stat changes for Dragon Dance, Quiver Dance, Swords Dance, and Feather Dance. I think the only one you really see here is Dragon Dance. I think. Rain Dance will last 8 turns. Acrobatics will deal double power, regardless of if the user is holding an item. Payday will deal 2 times damage and give off a bigger payout. Sing's base accuracy becomes 100, so Sing can no longer miss. Encore will last for twice as long. I'm trying to think of what else here. Nature Power becomes Acrobatics. Secret Power might lower Special Defense. Alright. And the only other notable thing here is the Synthetic Seed boosts attack and applies Helping Hand. Oh yeah, and also the Dancer ability will boost the speed and special attack every time a dance move is used on its turn. I've already gone over this field before, and I'm mainly just trying to go over the effects that are going to be relevant to the battle ahead. Some suggestions are you could use the high striker attacks. there are 2 high striker attacks that will be really helpful here. If you have like a Weavile and it knows Icicle Crash, that would deal bonus damage. Or if you have a Lucario and it knows Meteor Mash, that will do bonus damage as well. Or if you have anything that knows Smackdown, which we did find the TM for that a couple parts ago. But again, those might be helpful to you. So I'm going to go over my team right here. And you should be in the front right here. So I brought my Kling back, and I have my Gigalith here in the front. This is a flying gym, so I'm going to want to get some Stealth Rocks up. And my Stealth Rocker of choice here is going to be my Gigalith. I'll discuss why later, but there is no TM for Stealth Rocks that you should have at this point. I don't think there's a tutor for it at this point either. I'm not really sure, but there's only 2 sets of Pokemon that will naturally learn Stealth Rock once you're at the circus, assuming you haven't collected any other Pokemon at this point. That would be the Boulder line, and that would be the Crustal line. So Gigalith is going to be my Pokemon of choice for that. And I should replace my Roserade. Oops. But anyways, for the rest of my team, everybody is pretty much the same. I have my Alolan Ninetales right here. It has the Never Melt Ice. I forgot to mention that I gave it to it earlier. And my Kling is pretty much the same as ever. I'm going to go ahead and keep the Life Orb and the Thunder Punch on my Infernape right here, but for the most part, nothing else has really changed. So I guess it's time to go ahead and battle Ciel. So we have the opening ceremony right here again, and she should start with her Togekiss. That's the main reason I'm using my Gigalith as a Stealth Rocker as opposed to my Crustal. It has Serene Grace, Leftovers, Roost, Air Slash, Aurora Spear, and Thunder Wave. If you use Crustal, it doesn't resist Air Slash, and there's a good chance she's going to spam that and flinch hacks you, and you won't be able to get your rocks up. So I'll actually live that pretty nicely and get my rocks up right there. I'm gonna try to hit her with a Rock Slide. I could try to use Stone Edge, but I really want to get a little bit of chip damage right here if I survive. So it's going to knock me out right here. Completely fine. And the Sandstorm completely negates her Leftovers right there. So next up is my Kling. I haven't used this in a while, but when I do use it, you generally know what it's going to do. It's one dimension. Shift Gear, and I should tank this Aurora Spear pretty nicely. So I'm +1 in attack, +2 in speed. So even without the chip, it's usually a roll to knock out Togekiss from full HP with a 1 Gear Grind. But I know for certain that it's going to knock it out this time. Next up is the Noivern. It's going to take a little bit from the Stealth Rocks, and it has Infiltrator, Assault Vest, Acrobatics, Boom Burst, Dragon Pulse, Heat Wave. For the most part, it's a special attacker. I'm guessing Acrobatics just gets enough of a boost from this field that it doesn't really need any investment in attack. So I'm going to hit it with a Gear Grind and knock it out as well. And next up from here is going to be Gliscor. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this Gliscor right here. Gliscor has Poison Heal, Toxic Orb, and Earthquake, Acrobatics, Roost, and Defog. So I kind of sacrificed my Kling right there. Unfortunate, but I really want to make sure that I can knock out this Gliscor before it can defog and get rid of my rocks. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a Blizzard just to make sure that it's gone for good. And here comes her Minor. I'm going to swap out to my Meowstic right here. So it's going to take a little bit of damage from these stealth rocks right here, and Miner has shields down, White Herb, Acrobatics, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Shell Smash. I don't think I've ever really explained shields down. You know, we've seen Miner so many times. I would assume most people know what it does, but basically, when the shields are up, which means it's in its meteor form, like this right now, it can't be statused, I believe. I also think things like Roleplay, Gastro Acid, Warrior Seed, Simple Bean, and Entrainment fail. And it's also really defensive. So I'm going to go ahead and stall this out a little bit with a Fake Out. I get a bit of chip damage from the Hail too. It has high defenses while it's in this form, but once I lower it past half HP, it's going to have much higher speed, and it's going to have much higher offensive stats, which is really scary. So I'm going to start off with a Reflect right here. I'm going to take this moment to get my screens up. Hopefully between the Hail and its attacks, I should lose my Meowstic after I get my light screen here up. And it's not quite at half HP. I should be able to send in my Infernape right here and knock it out with a Thunder Punch. Next up is going to be Oricorio. And I'm not going to swap out here. So because Oricorio is a Fire Flying type, it's going to take half its HP from the Stealth Rocks, pretty much. Has the ability Dancer, a Synthetic Seed, which the attack boost doesn't really matter, but the Helping Hand does. That's like a 50% boost to its attacks. Has Revelation Dance, which is fire. Has Roost, Air Slash, and Baton Pass. So this could be really annoying right here, but I should be able to just Thunder Punch this thing and get rid of it. Unless it flinches me. And that is the Oricorio down. And finally is going to be her Altaria. It's going to take a little bit of damage from the Stealth Rocks. This Altaria is going to be the first Mega Pokemon that we're going to see. It's holding the Altarianite. Has Earthquake, Hyper Voice, Roost, and Sing. Because this is a Mega Altaria, its actual ability will be Pixelate, which means normal moves will turn into a Fairy type move, and they will have a slight power boost. So that Hyper Voice is really gonna hurt. Thankfully, I have my Alola Ninetales right here, and I'm just going to hit it with a Blizzard and knock it out. Or I should be able to, yeah. And that is Sky Dancer Ciel. So from that, we'll finally get Acrobatics, we will get the Gym Badge, and we can finally fly back to Reborn City. So I'm going to heal up, and we're actually... Oh, good, good. I don't know why that took so long for me to actually leave that room. I'm really panicking because I thought my game crashed. But anyways, from here, we can now use Fly, and we're going to go ahead and fly back to Reborn City. So as you can see, Reborn City has changed quite a bit, and in the next part we're actually going to explore it a lot. But for now, thanks for watching guys, thanks for the support, and I will catch you guys later.